Hello, and welcome to the Introvert Social Hour. My name is Kayvana, and it is officially season 4. Woo woo, woo woo woo. I am doing the first episode with my friends Sabrina and Nicole, and we are also visual this season. I was gonna say this year. That's included as well. So, hello from outside of the audio world. Just to note, those visuals pretty much stick on Spotify, and I'll probably switch them over to YouTube, but you're not gonna catch them anywhere else based off how like the Spotify world kind of moves the podcasts around and shares them around. But if you want visuals, stick to Spotify and stick to YouTube's. But yeah, today we are talking about like how we're doing. It's just like a general catch up. I thought that would be a good idea to kind of start season 4. There's been a lot since last year, and I think that would be good to kind of catch up. Sabrina and Nicole, y'all are always here. For the people who listen, y'all know Sabrina and Nicole. So I was like, that would be the best place to start, especially with them. We see each other pretty much on a weekly basis, so we kind of know what's going on. But I think this will be good just in general to see if you relate in any ways to the things that we're kind of figuring out along the way in 2026 and in our like mid late 20s era, and just in general life things. So yeah, how you doing, Sabrina and Nicole? Welcome back.
Oh, very excited.
I had my first question for you, and what I wanted to do was, how are we really doing? But if you could put it into one word first, and then we could break it down and explain further. So I want you to think about that word for a second, and I'm gonna go. How are we really doing? I think my word would be thought out. That's kind of two, but I'm putting the little putting the hyphen in.
Yeah, the hyphen counts as one word.
Okay, it's cool. One. I was going to say, I was like, is there a hyphen? I think there's a hyphen there. Okay, cool. So then, yeah,
you can put a hyphen wherever you want.
Cool. I'll take it then. Okay, what about y'all? It's a hard one, I know.
I mean, mine's going to be super simple, but it is the time of year where you are asking. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. Like, not quite exhausted area category, just a month and a half more of school to go.
For everything the teachers out there?
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think to not have a 4 words with dashes in it, I'll go for the word transitions, because I feel like I'm between a lot of things at the moment.
Okay. We got tired, transition, thought process.
Hey,
or thought out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, look at us.
Social hour.
Yeah. I definitely first understood the first one, Sabrina, because I was like, oh, 100%. Like, knowing where you are in the school year as a teacher, 100%. You're in the final countdown of things, the last push. Transition, I feel, man, we're going to talk about that too, because, like, I feel like we're always in some form of transition these past few years. So we're going to talk about that and what that looks like. And I'll explain mine, and then I want y'all to explain yours. For thought out, in the best way possible, I think it's just because I'm doing a lot of thinking, which I usually do anyways as an overthinker. But like I'm thinking about the transitions as well, like where my next steps at. I'm thinking about what could be better. I'm thinking about also being tired. How can I not be tired? How can I reflect? What am I doing that I could do better for myself? We talk about it. We talked about it literally the other day, Nicole. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy as we speak.
You don't sleep.
I don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
I don't sleep at all. And I will say, yesterday was not my fault, or this past night, it was my fault. It wasn't my fault. Because on top of that, they're doing construction outside on the weekend in the morning. So literally, I finally fell asleep and I heard bangs at like 4:30. Bop, 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 bop. They were like dropping big pieces of metal in these big metal thingies to take them off. I was like at 4:30 in the morning. So that did wake me up after I finally fell asleep at a decent time. And then, the honking of it all of New York City. So then I'm waking up like, shut up, please. But no, it's me. It's my fault. I can only blame so much on people. But that's why I thought out is just like, I'm in my thinking phase of planning and, figuring out what's now, what's next kind of things. Yeah. What about y'all? Explain yours a little bit further. Outside of, I know, Sabrina, you said tired as a teacher, but
Yeah.
like, I'm curious more of
It's also just
additional
like,
context.
it's like the whole everything. But right now, primary, like when we get off this call, I will be grading because I didn't do anything over spring break like I wanted to. But it's that point of year where everything is just like piling up. There's just like deadlines. The kids are over it. I'm over it. We've talked about it, how like the job can be like so consuming.
Yeah.
And we're at the point where it becomes its most consuming. It does not help that I fell a little bit behind, but it is what it is. And then just with the world and everything, I'm like right back at the place where like everything makes me want to cry again. And I was like, cool, I thought I like got this catharsis. Like I had that like cathartic moment watching that movie and I cried and I sobbed. And now I'm right back where I was. I almost cried with like the astronauts landing back in the water in San Diego because my sister and I were listening to that on our way home on Friday. And I was like, what am I doing? But it's just everything, just one thing after another. And then also the kind of tired where sometimes it's just doesn't even process. It's just cool. That's another thing. So also that level of tired where you're just kind of, there's just a flat line and that's just kind of where you're at for like forever.
Big oof on that one. Yeah.
Ask me again in June and I will just be normal overwhelmed with the world. But at the
if
moment,
normal exists.
I mean, you say that now, that's 2 months from now. Who knows what they'll throw us?
Yeah. Yeah.
They move
but
fast.
No, you're definitely valid in the astronauts too. I was like, I went them back safe, and they came back safe. That's all that. I was like, ah.
Oh, I know enough about space that I knew on the reentry, it was like, oh, we're vibing. But then they put like an audio of people at the San Diego Space and Air Museum. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Because they were like all of these little tiny kids who might be these astronauts one day. And I was just like, bleh. I was like, why would you do this to me? I'm driving home from Disney. And Cassandra's like, are you going to be okay? I was like, I'll be fine. Did not cry. Almost cried.
It was just so sweet. And they have such good words too. So they're just like, they seem like really solid humans, which is nice. Yeah, yes. In a world where there's a lot of other like non-solid humans in the news these days. Nicole, what about you? Explain transition a bit further.
Yeah, I ended up choosing that word because I feel like more like the thing that I have been wanting a lot in the last, I guess, couple years, if you'll say, is like I've been really craving like more stability and more like solidness and like that feeling that I know what I'm doing and I'm still just kind of not feeling that. So that like everything still feels very like, well, I'm between two things. I'm not settled in any one particular place. I'm waiting for that settled feeling. So it still feels like everything is kind of in transition, and I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit more, but like even just like life transitions, like transitions between jobs or like, you know, stuff going on with like family and stuff like that, where it's just like everything is moving all the time. And kind of like Sabrina was saying, I feel like I don't even have time to process the one thing before it's like, hey, here's the next thing. And it's just like lots of things to be processing at once. And so it's like that moving, transitioning feeling, and like, when is it gonna relax a little?
I had a question that popped up with that, and I think that'll be a good transition in, because the word that's kind of stuck with me is like settling. Like, when is that settling feeling gonna come in? And so I wrote that down. That's why for the people who are new to me here, I'm writing things down. I'm still listening. But my question was, and this could apply to all of us, is do you think that exists? Do you think that settling feeling actually, I'm sorry, do you think that is a thing that happens, or are we always just kind of on to the next thing And are we in control of that also is another question.
I think that is kind of what I'm moving towards, is that like, well, I guess this is just it. Like increasingly it's been like, well, I guess life happens every day and there's not going to be like a point like I was kind of anticipating when I was like in high school and even in college, where it's like, there's going to be a point when like life starts, and it's like, there hasn't really been that moment where it's like, okay, now life starts. It's like, oh, it's kind of like life happens every day. Seems like a pretty obvious concept, but it's hard to like really learn that.
I think it's highly dependent on the person. I think that there are some people who are content where they are, and I think you can reach contentment. I think one of the issues with people like us is that we spent so much of our childhood always striving for what came next, or always striving for not necessarily maybe perfection, but for something that showed that we were competent in what we did. We wanted to be accomplished in what we did. And so there's always going to be that. I don't think we will ever feel settled. I think that's kind of what it is. And I think there are people who are kind of in between. You can feel settled in some things because, like, adulthood, starting your life looks so different for some people. For some people, that is just, I have my job, I have my home, done. Anything else is extra. There are some people who have all of the little finders, like steps and everything. But you can get everything you want and still keep going. Like people whose goals are families. Cool, you have a family now, but now you have a little child who you will be responsible for technically 18 years, but not really. You're like, that is a thought process. That is a separation of you have for the rest of your life. If you don't go that route, you're usually seeking something else. And it's always like, so yeah, I think it's per person. I think people can be content. And that helps with the feeling of settled. But I also think that there's some people who are just so used to, okay, what's next? That sometimes you're just like, I don't know if there's anything next.
Yeah. Oh wow, we got deep quick. Sorry, that was my fault. Yeah,
Sorry.
so no, I was literally before you said it, I was thinking, I was like, I don't think that is a thing for me that will happen. Because I agree, it's like and I also think it happens to per person, but also per access, right? So like if you come in the game, example, like you wake up and Beyonce's your mom, like you have so many things you don't have to worry about and so many goals you don't have to like check off. Obviously there's other struggles that come with that, but financially you're Gucci. So like and then also not just financially, but also because of that access, your goals that you want to get to are possibly there quicker. So just that was example, but anybody born rich or with access or like the celebrityism of it all. And so I think of regular day people who are always kind of striving for financial goals. Those financial goals could be blockers for dream goals and career goals and stuff, and things like that. And so then there's just layers to that. I think for me, I think even if whatever, and we'll talk about that too, whatever that layer of success looks like, and say I achieve that, I think there would still be like a what's next, just because of like the way my brain works of like, oh, this is cool, I have this now, I would love to do this, or I'd love to do that. Like I think that's where I am, because I've heard of creators saying this. It's like you finally get that thing and then you're excited and you want to do the next thing. And I think that would be me as well. It's like there's always something to think about creatively, where there is no like end. But I think in regards to life contentment in general, I think as long as I had like stable finances where I was like financially free and like had my stuff set, had my family stuff set, and we were all Gucci, I think that's contentment and stuff right there. And like my career is like settled in the sense of I don't have to worry about it falling from the sky one day, kind of thing. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, I agree. I don't think I am one of those people. And that's okay. In regards to that, I am curious though, um, in the current times of things and just like where we are in our life, on the more positive side of things though, what is something that has been making life better amongst like the tiredness and the transitions and the thought process? Like what is making something like really worth it right now? I'm curious of like the good things in life. I'll let y'all think about that for a second.
I just had like one of these moments recently for my birthday. Last year, I'm like starting to see all of the solo dates I went. So I chose to do a solo date every month, decided to like go places and do things by myself that I'd never really done before. And I realized like my therapist also helped me realize this, was like I planned for a thing on my own, and it was a little hard this year to like coordinate with things. It was really nice to see Nicole too, so I like got to see a friend for around my birthday. But like previous years, that would have set me like feeling very lonely of just I don't have a lot of friends where I'm at. My friends are all scattered, like not being able to have that like birthday dinner or just like a birthday event kind of thing with people outside of family. But this year I was like, you know what, it's fine. Like we're all whatever. I was really like, I'm just so excited to go to the beach by myself. I'm so excited to have time by myself where I just get to do this and this. And that is a huge, huge thing for me because I last year could not have done that, like would have wanted to go to the beach but still would have been very like sad this year. That was like, I need to go, this is what's going to make me feel so nice and so good. So yeah, just like all the little things where I'm just like, yeah, I can just go do this by myself now and it's not a big deal. And so that was like the big moment of realizing I have all these little things I can do now that I couldn't have done about a year and a half ago. So that was very cool recently.
Nice. I feel like I hope people out there like hear this who really feel like they need it, because I hear a lot of times when I drop like my solo adventures, my solo journeys, especially Disney, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I could go to Disney by myself," or "Oh my gosh, I wish I could go to the movies by myself." I'm like,
Mhm.
"You can. I know it's weird at first maybe, but you just got to just try it out." And I think it's easier said than done for me because that's just like my norm.
Yeah.
But for people to hear your perspective is also really cool because you're like, I'm learning, I'm figuring it out, you know?
I mean, I still like you've gone to concerts by yourself. I don't know if I could ever achieve that level.
I love it.
And then for traveling, you know me, it's more of a like I need a person to feel safer. But like I've done the Disney because Disneyland is just a drive for me. So I've done that one. I can do it. Don't prefer it, but I can do it. Um, but yeah, it's like I'm always like, Kivana can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, you can. Now the flippity flip is I need to do a solo like actual like dinner date, lunch date. That's on my like life bingo sheet. That feels weird to me because I'm like I have a whole table to myself and like a
You sit at the
server
bar.
and see, okay, so then I gotta find somewhere that has a bar. But then I also feel weird because I'm like on a high chair and I'm like, people can see me more.
Oh.
Either
Well,
way.
I went to a ramen place, so it was real chill, real
Mm,
relaxed. Went for lunchtime, so no one
yeah.
was up in anyone's business. It wasn't crowded. I was like, this is perfect.
See, the thing is, I feel like I'd be cheating because I've been to Ichiran
Oh,
by myself here before, and
um,
like that's literally meant for singular eating,
oh,
you know?
see, no, that was a big step for me.
Okay,
This
cool.
is why
Okay,
we're at
see,
different.
okay, yeah, okay, got you. Cool. So that's the next step I need to make then. So I need to actually sit at a table and be like, I'll have an appetizer, please. You
I've done
know?
it. I encourage it. It is
Hey,
nice.
see,
One
I
thing
gotta
that
do it.
helped me when I did it, when there were times when I was like feeling a little awkward to be there by myself, I was like, I would kind of pretend that I was a food critic almost, where I was like really assessing and tasting and like
Oh, I
like
love that.
yeah, because then I'm like, and then I would think about like, oh, I ordered this thing off the menu and it said it had all of these things in it. Can I taste all of those things? Or like, what is like, really like almost like physically engaging in the process of eating? Because I feel like a lot of times I'm just like eating for fuel, so I'm not really thinking
It's
about it, even though I'm like,
true.
oh, this is delicious, but I don't go really beyond that. So more and more lately, I'm trying to be like, what am I tasting here? Like, so I can actually experience it instead of looking back on a meal and being like, yeah, it was good. That's all I got.
I like this perspective because another thing I told myself I wanted to do is just like do random stuff. And I think that can make it more interesting versus just like, oh, I'm just eating by myself. It's like, no, maybe I'm eating to have an experience more so instead. I like that because even most recently, I went to these like really expensive apartments that are like on lease, and I was like, I know I can't afford these. But I'm like, yeah, show me the 1-bedroom, please. Like, he's like, I have 2 other options. And I'm like, yeah, show me those. I'm like, what's the price? Okay, cool. And so just doing stuff like that would be cool. And so it'd be like, okay, I'm a food critic. Give me the Grey Poupon or whatever they say. Like, I don't know. So I think that'd be cool. That'd be fun. I like that. Cool. What about you, Nicole, though? What is your like new thing or it doesn't have to be new. It could even be something that's not new. That's kind of like making life a good vibe specifically.
Kind of on the flip side of what Sabrina was saying, like just enjoying spending time with my peoples. Like you said, for Sabrina's birthday, I was able to go down to hang out with you, and we went to a couple bookstores that you saw on your book crawl. Was that another solo date that you did?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Also, possibly forgive my fan because it has decided it's a spaceship at the moment. Yeah, it was the book crawl, which San Diego will be doing again in 2 weekends.
Fun. So yeah, we got to hang out, got to go see a show, and we've kind of done that. I don't remember when last it was that we.
October.
Yeah,
we saw Huzzah and
yes, that's
Adam's
right.
family.
So it was kind of nice to do that and like get together in person, even though we see each other pretty regularly online, and just shake things up, but also nice to just hang out like we used to, especially in college, where it's just kind of like we're just chilling, and had a great time hanging with Sabrina and her sister, and hanging out with more guests that are going to be on this season. Spoiler alert, but that was a great time. They're always a laugh.
I was literally just about to say Cassandra and Andrew will be on soon, or I guess this season. You'll know when. But yes, no, that's true. We do have like little communities in our lives, and then like us, we have like our own little like community habitat ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. So I think it's really cool that is a thing, specifically in adult life, because it's not as easy to accomplish / hold on to, if that makes sense. We've talked about this a bit in different episodes, where it's hard to maintain friendships, or communication is tough when life is tough and things like that. So no, that's super cool. And question, Sabrina, are you going to the book crawl in 2 weeks?
TBD. That's a weekend I'll be hanging out with my cousin a lot, be helping her out with the kiddos. So we shall see. Maybe. Okay. Also, I'm not a big fan of like the little artwork this year. It's like E.T., like extraterrestrial kind of thing. And it's cute. I don't know.
Okay.
Last year's was a little bunny, and it was so cute.
So I don't know. Okay. I'm intrigued. Sorry, my brain went to I used to do this, side note, when I was a teacher. And they'd be like, what does that mean? When I first started doing it, I was like, that means come back to Earth. You gotta calm down.
That's funny.
So that was where my brain went. I was like, you gotta chill out. You are talking too much. Come back to the classroom. Like,
that's a call and response I've never seen before.
I know, but you know me. I've discovered I love a good odd situation. I don't know where my brain starts out. I don't know what was like, this is happening. And then we just go for it at that point. But once it happened, and it was it. That was a sidebar. But yes. In regards to I am curious, we talk about like the bonuses of things, right? Is there anything that's gotten easier since we've last talked? Is there anything that's gotten harder since we've last talked in regards to podcast world? Updates for the listeners out there. I'll go first and I'll let you think about it. I think for me, I'll give a quick, okay, so 2024, that was like transition era, like big transition era. I left my job. The most popular episode is that episode of when I was talking about reflections and such, of just leaving and taking a leap and things like that. Last season, I was just in a existence of having a new job, being fresh in it. And right now, I think I am someone who gets a little bored easily, especially if it's not in something that I'm like settled. There we go. You're settled in. And so I think what's gotten a little bit harder is, I think that's why I'm in a thought out process of what is next, what could be next. Is this the time where my creative opportunities come to me, or I make them come to me? Because that's just not how that works. I think that's what's been harder, is the what next is a little bit even more confusing, because it's not jump to another job. It's no, I want things that I want to happen now. Like, I don't want any more, this is okay to be temporary kind of thing. I think I'm ready to make those jumps, and I just don't know how to get there just yet. Easier. What has gotten easier? That's the hard one. What has gotten easier? In a comedy perspective, my Lego purchasing has calmed down quite a bit, by force. So there we go. That has been easier because I didn't really have to think too hard about that. But yes, those are mine.
You
What
built all the
about
Legos.
Listen, I mean, I got my dream sets, but Lego keeps dropping stuff, so I'm gonna run out of space at some point. Yeah, if they drop that Main Street, like it's been theoried, I'm toast.
I'm doomed.
Yeah, I'm doomed. Well, what about y'all? What has gotten harder? What has gotten easier?
One thing that has gotten easier for me, this was weirdly the first thing that popped into my mind. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I feel like for the last couple years I've been like, I just can't read anymore. Like, I will pick up a book and read for 5 minutes, and then I'm like, it's not that I'm bored, it's that I can't really stick with it, or it takes me a really long time to get through books, or I'll take really long pauses. And my book goals for the past couple of years have been like, I just want to read one book a month. Even though I have so many books on my TBR, that on my side table behind me here, that are just gathering dust, because I'm like, I want to read it, but I'm not ready yet or something. But part of one of my recent transitions is I got a new job in the same field, but doing a bit of a different thing. I like to joke that I gave myself a promotion because I was getting kind of stuck at the old one. And with that is a longer commute, but that also means that I have a bit more downtime, a little bit before and during my breaks, where I am sitting and reading. And so I've read so many books since starting this new job, and it's kind of amazing that I'm like, wow, every time I have a break, I'm like, oh, let me keep working on that, keep reading that book that I was reading. So that was kind of amazing to be and I didn't even have to try to be I'm going to use this time to do this. And it's only been a couple of months, so maybe speaking too soon, and this is just a temporary one, but it is very nice to be wow, I'm reading stuff. And I, for the first time in I think 2 or 3 years, read a book from my bookshelf that has been on my bookshelf for 10 years.
Claps.
So
which one?
It's good balance. Yeah,
which one?
That's literally. Oh yeah, which one? Yeah.
Oh, it is The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris, which
nice.
I have been wanting to read for a very long time. And I think it also helped that I was familiar with the movie and the story already, so I kind of was anticipating certain plot points and excited to see what was new and different versus. And it's impressive how close the movie sticks to the book for a lot of things, but the perspective on it, just the way that it is written, is so engaging and interesting. The way that Harris writes these characters is so. I was talking to a friend about it. I think the grotesque, minute detail of some things, where he's just he has a great way of pinpointing very small things, and it's it says so much about the characters and the way that they read each other. So fascinating. So that was actually, that kind of started my recent bout of doing a lot of reading, because I've just been going.
No, honestly, I love a good when you're on the flow and you're just don't lose the flow. So yeah, I just wanted to note that. Yeah, what's the harder one? What's the hardest thing lately?
I feel like this has always been kind of hard, but just recognizing it more and more lately. Looking at my phone, because inevitably news stuff will pop up, and so pretty much my habit these days. I guess it's kind of a good thing because I'm looking at my phone less, but I'll be scrolling on something, and when I get to something that makes me really sad, I close my phone. So less screen time, but also more despair. So you can decide if that's good or bad.
It's like a 50-50 situation. Like, it's like, okay, I'm off my phone because that's what we all hope at some point to get better at. But it's like, at what cost?
Yeah, I'm like, guess I'll read or something.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not the book.
Oh my goodness.
What about you, Sabrina?
I'm actually on the opposite end of that. Like, I've been doing a lot of purposeful removing myself from my devices as much as I can. So that's gotten easier. I have a lot of things set in place. I've picked up sewing. I have like a subscription to the New Yorker now because I was like, I need to read more like actual, just like today kind of writing, various different like kinds of writing, because that thing has everything from like op-eds to like actual like investigative like journalism pieces to like fiction and poetry and everything. So I don't read all of it. I can't do that. There are certain things that I'm just like, no, thank you. But as a whole, like it's really rare for my average like screen time to be over 4 hours and something. Like I'll get my little weekly updates, and it's a very rare. And if it is, it's usually because I'm reading on my phone, because I have my Kindle app on my phone. So that's gotten much easier, which is nice. I was like, I need activities that are not just looking at a screen. Yeah, especially, I mean, it helped getting LASIK was like something where like I can't really look at screens very much, and I can't really read at the moment, so I need something to do. But like something that has gotten harder is actually my job. Like as a whole, it's gotten easier because now I know what I'm doing. I have systems in place, but it's getting harder just because of like the population, the like, or I guess the generation that we're teaching, just like the motivation. And like, I think this is again going back to that settling question of like, I'm settled. I'm very happy with my job. Even on the days where I'm like, I don't want to go to work, which is a lot. It's not like I hate what I'm doing when I go to work. Like once I go to work, I'm fine. But there's a lot more of just, it's so like taxing. And with everything going on in the world, it's becoming a little bit more difficult to like to go in every day and to look at these kids and to see everything. And you know me, I get attached. So like to just genuinely be like, what kind of a world do y'all have? And sorry to get deep again, but like that's where my brain is. Again, ask me this question outside of school time and I'll probably be like, I don't know, it's hard to like not go to the beach every day. But it's just it's there. And it's also like, oh boy, I have to do this for I don't know how many more years. And I swear, I think they're going to have us do an AI meeting when we come back because we were supposed to have one beforehand.
Grody.
And I do not. I don't want to. I don't want them to be like, you should be teaching them how to use it responsibly. I'm like, it's like, I'd rather they just do the thinking, please.
Literally. I was going to ask the type of, okay, so it's like, instead of being like how to catch it, it's like how to help them kind of thing.
Yeah, it's more like if you're going to use it, how do you use it while still thinking? So like what are responsible ways to use it? What are ways of integrating AI into the process to like minimize the time spent, but not to have it do your thinking? That's what like one of the movements is. There's some movements where they encourage us to use AI to help us with planning all the time. And I'm like, sure, if a teacher wants to, whatever. But I was like, I'm not about to be here. I like my high horse. Thank you very much. I like to be up here. I like the more high ground. And I like to go, don't use AI. I will get you in trouble. So I'm not about to go and use AI.
100%.
And do exactly what I'm telling them not to do.
Exactly.
So.
That is interesting. I will say that's definitely as y'all know, like I'm in tech. So that's the world that exists right now for people as well as like how to do it, use it quicker. I do not think kids should use it at all. You're still in development. You're still learning. You're trying to use it to help you move quicker, you don't even have the basics down. So I think that's a bad move. That's interesting because as I'm not a teacher anymore, I left just as it was kind of to really like starting to pop off. And so I've thought about that before. Like, what would that be like right now? As I was a dance teacher, but I mean, I still gave them like stuff that they needed to figure out.
They don't even know how to write emails. I teach them how to write emails, and I've had students come back to me and be like, Miss Sanchez, I'm so happy that you taught us how to write emails because now I'm applying for jobs and I know what to do. And I was like, okay. I was like, you're welcome. But also,
oof,
you've been sending emails for how many years of your life? And it took until freshman, sophomore year to learn how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. That's something to consider.
These are our future doctors, engineers, and politicians. Well. Yeah. But
well, yeah. Goodness. No, I've thought I've been thinking about like for my brothers, I'm like maybe I'll do like a little like just a little 101. Like here's how to just figure things out. Do a little financial information stuff, a little bit of, job searching stuff, things like that, cuz I'm like I have to think too of like how did I figure these things out, cuz it wasn't like I mean, y'all know, like I'm really independent. So there was just a lot of stuff I just kind of figured out on my own. I didn't go asking around. But also it was like I also really had solid teachers. So kind of similar in your situation, Sabrina. It's like there were people who were like, hey, let's just go over this for like 5 minutes in this class and let's just talk about this for a second. Or, for college programs, I had a solid college counselor who's like, she sat in the library, didn't know her at all until I met her my senior year. And I was like, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. So I just think like those resources are really important. So I know it's hard, but those situations definitely make a huge impact to those. So I'm glad that that student emailed you as well, because that's true. They do need it. That is very true. Yeah. In regards to, I wanted to know, we've talked a bit, about like, it's kind of a medium area we're in right now. In regards to, I'm curious, what are you doing to protect your peace? So I'm hearing things that have been kind of said, and I'm curious if those are the things, like, diving into stories and reading, or having moments of, solo self-care, going to the beach, or going on your solo dates, things like that. Is there anything else that's like a place, or just staying off your phone? Is there anything else that you're using as a a mechanism, I guess, to just be en route for yourself? And I think this could apply to a few different things. I know we talk about just kind of like the current state of life that we're in, but I was also thinking too, like Nicole, we had talked about this the other day of like, what that looks like in friendships, and for me as of late, I think my protection piece has been figuring out where do I feel okay or where I don't feel okay in certain relationships and situations. And not as in like unsafe, but like if I'm with you, do I question myself when I'm hanging out with you, or do I question our friendship or relationship or whatever? Not that I have any relationships, but like friendships and things like that. Where do I feel like I could just be me and chill? So I think of what I've been doing is protecting my peace of just like letting myself be like, it's okay to step away, which it's so weird because high school was different because we all just went separate ways, like whatever, YOLO, have a great life. And then college was a little bit different because we all did go separate ways too, but there's a little bit more of an establishment there, and even like post college a little bit. And so having people you've known for that long and just kind of being like, okay, I think we're in different places right now, and that's okay. I'm protecting my peace by stepping away. So I think that's been the most recent thing for me in regards to that. The phone is the next thing at some point, but it's hard when I also like need my phone for like content creation stuff. But that's where I'm at. I'm curious if y'all have any additional ones.
Kind of a different vein from what you're doing, but we've talked about this a lot before, is like keeping up with like creative stuff, because like I can get a sense of how I'm doing like in life based on how my creative stuff is going. Like if I'm blocked creatively, it's because there's something going on with me for some reason or other. And so just kind of like keeping up with that, as far as like, I think that's kind of, I struggle with self-care stuff a lot, because it becomes like a chore to me, and then it's not really self-care and all this other stuff. But I think the most consistent like way that I've been able to maintain self-care for myself is through like the writing stuff that I do. And also that's for some reason where I am able to be the most like, I mean, y'all have heard on the podcast before how I've gone through my struggles with it, of like perfectionism and all these other things about it. But like I think through the process of being like, well, what can I do to make that something that I can still do without putting too much pressure on it, has been kind of the one area where I've been like, this is what I'm doing to like protect my peace. Like, and I've been very in tune with stuff creatively recently. I've been, doing stuff to keep it fun. So it's not feeling like a chore, and it's really like helped to keep it, something that I'm going to as a, like, I need kind of a moment to myself. And so I'm going to go dive into this project that I'm working on.
Sabrina, about you?
I've been doing a lot of like, just like I said, like moving myself from technology or things like that. And so I've always found other worlds escapism to be great. But sometimes lately the brain just has not been able to sit and like read the way that I used to. Or me, I go through bouts where it's like I won't read something for a month and a half, and then all of a sudden I've read 3 books in 3 days, kind of situation. So like sewing has been really, really nice. I just sewed my first little dress, and that was very fun. And even when it's frustrating, and oh my lord, how long that zipper took. That zipper was disgusting because it's an invisible zipper and I don't have the correct whatever. It was still like a rewarding kind of frustration, because I was like, well, I'm figuring it out. I'm learning. There is always a process of learning. It's different than other forms of creative, like hobbies I've tried to do before, where I was just like, nothing is happening. This is staying the same. I'm not getting any better, and this is not. So that, with my little movies, making my little like movie journal, that has been really nice. Sometimes at the end of a long day, that is something where I can just sit and I can do my little doodles. I can write in my little things. I can look at my favorite Letterboxd reviews and laugh a little bit at people. And so just taking those little times where I'm putting the phone away. I'm putting something away. Usually there's something on in the TV in the background, just because noise, because I also live at home. So there's always something going on. Also in the realm of escapism, I literally have it on my second monitor right now. I've been watching The West Wing because it's kind of nice to see a good, decent president who is very funny. Love this man. Love him. All of them are super. I just love witty, quick, like very like banter-filled shows. And that's literally all this is. I have yet to see an episode that is not full of some kind of banter, even when it's super serious. So my little bits of escapism. Because kind of removed from a lot of stuff. Like I've set boundaries with family members, which is nice. I've like gotten better at saying no, because that was also a big thing. So this is now more just like for my brain, to give my brain time to just chill. A lot of little tiny techniques, and it's been very nice.
I like that. I was about to say, like, even though it was difficult, you got it done in regards to the zipper. Because I'm like, you're diving into sewing, and I'm like, I'm having a hard time with crochet. I know I will never touch sewing, I don't think.
Crochet was what I put down, because I was like, I can't get the tension correct, and that's not something you can really learn. That's something you just do. And I was like, this is me. I am the problem. I am not doing this well. And I can't
now
do
you discovered you are the sewer. not the crocheter, and that's okay. Because that I might, crochet might be dropped for me. That's another thing. I got to learn how to separate from hobbies. It takes a long time, so I also get what you're saying in regards to like not seeing progress. Like crochet is a long process. I was gonna say I did not know The West Wing was a like comedy-ish kind of show.
Yes and no. Like, it's very
Interesting.
funny.
Okay.
But it's also like definitely a drama.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah.
Because I was like, it looks really serious. So I was like,
they're just so funny in between like the little characters with each other. Like,
gotcha.
yeah, it's very good. Highly recommend. Even just the first episode will tell you if you like it or not.
Okay. I am curious. I don't know if Nicole is still here. Okay.
At that, trying to Google something. My bad.
You're good. You were talking about the creative process of that, and I was sitting with that for a second before I commented, but I do appreciate that because that's so true. Just like you appreciated this craft before it became something so serious, and letting yourself dive into it for joy again, letting that be your piece again versus something that needs to be done a certain way at a certain time, like releasing those pressures. And I like that because I'm also in that era of trying to figure that out. And I think I've been doing better compared to last year. Just, I have an idea, just record it, drop it, and leave it alone, And sometimes it becomes a thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That video got pretty good. And I just threw it out. I almost didn't record it. So, things like that. But yeah, you were going to say something? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, going back to West Wing, I was trying to remember. It's an Aaron Sorkin show, and all of his writing is very like
yes, it
snappy,
is
witty like that.
I think is he the one who wrote Ocean's 11? I think he is. I think he's the writer credited to that. So like it's that kind of like quippy little like boom 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 just jumping off of each other kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
He has another one that's about, I think, Newsroom. It's about, yes. My dad really loves that one.
And it had Matthew Perry on it.
Mm.
I think Matthew Perry appears here, and I don't know if it's the same character or not, but he like jumped to here, was in a couple of episodes, and then started the Newsroom. Or whatever it's called.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Maybe I'll dive into it. I'm like,
it's
out
on
of
Netflix.
New shows. Okay. I'll consider. How many seasons? Is it currently
7?
running? Okay.
No, it started 99.
LOL. I've only just seen like the picture of it. I literally knew nothing about it, but I just always gave very serious. Okay, good to know. So it's
I have only ever seen one clip, and it's the president telling off this like reporter, and that's in the second season. I just watched that episode just now, but it's very good. I got my dad to like semi pay attention to it, so that's a good sign because that man doesn't do well with this like quickness. But it's funny because he'll ask me questions because he doesn't watch it regularly. So he's like, who's that one again? Who's that one again? The only one that they know is the president because it's something Sheen. It's the dad. It's the dad Sheen. And it's Rob Lowe. Those are the only two he like knows.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I am curious, and then I'm gonna move on. Have you gotten your dad to watch Sinners yet?
So they're going to watch it.
Okay,
like
I was just
even
curious.
But they just need to like sit down and watch it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that update when it happens.
I know. I'm really hoping they like it. I don't know.
I'm hoping so too.
I don't know about my mom because she doesn't do well with any of that kind of movie. So we shall see. But I think my dad will.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for that update. And then maybe we'll update y'all, the people listening. Okay, quick. This or that. I'm not calling it rapid fire, but it still should be pretty quick.
I knew you were going to do this. Literally, we turned on this thing, and I was like, wait a minute. What if she does this to us? Okay.
Of course.
What are we doing?
All right. This or that, quick, just kind of like life edition questions kind of thing. Okay. Stability or freedom? I go freedom.
I know I talked about stability before, but freedom for me as well.
See, I go stability because I think stability gives freedom.
It also could be said vice versa, though. Freedom could give stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's always a funky one. But I would say freedom because I think it would then provide stability at some point. There's no guarantee, of course, but yeah. Okay, cool. Interesting. Love or money?
Love.
Yeah. I don't have money, so.
I think if we're talking in the long parks of things, like, yeah, I think I would, at this point, I don't have, I mean, if for family wise, I'll go love. Yes. If we're talking about like relationship specifically wise, significant other, I know as a hopeless romantic though, I still go money because I don't,
Hey,
I'm without love right now.
If it's romance or money, I can do money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a student who said, I'm marrying for love. I love money. Like, that's the goal. And I was like, genius, right there.
Yes.
So
I like that. That's funny. Be liked or be respected. I say be respected.
Same. I know that I'm not liked by all people, so I'll take the respect.
Yeah, it's just like not gonna be a thing. It's not a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think about that in regards to like being a teacher. That was like the biggest thing. I would always be like, when new teachers came in, I was like, your job is not to be like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, they could be chill with you and still like, not respect you in the classroom. So respected in general is always the best way to go, in my opinion, as well. Routine or spontaneity? I feel like I have an idea of where we would go with this.
Routine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go spontaneity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break a lot of routines at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's also where I'm headed, interestingly enough. I was always more routine, and I think I've been in a path of spontaneity for the past few years for sure. And so I think that's where I would like to continue in that journey. So we shall see. Yeah. My one day Disney trip alone was like the most spontaneous thing. I was like, I think I'm gonna go. And so I went. Text all day or one phone call. Text all day is usually my path. I'm not a huge phone caller.
Like
thinking.
Like with the person, would you rather text them all day or do the one phone call?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm taking the phone call.
Yeah.
I think I am more of a phone call person. I'm a terrible texter. But I can be on the phone with somebody for an hour.
That's fair. Yeah. I think it depends on the person for me.
Yeah.
I think that probably is where we go. Yeah. Because there's also some people I'm like, okay, we've been on for quite a minute. What are we trying? What are we doing? Private. No, I don't. I think I have the answer for that. Let me still ask though. Private life or share everything? Because this all could be an answer to the audience.
This private. I don't even really post on Instagram that much anymore.
Yeah.
Mine's private, but with my people's 100% overshare. And
I agree. I go private as well. I'm not. I think I'm still relatively private, even though I am on social media. But yeah, the people who are like, here is everything. I'm like, you only get a little bit. You get what I show you. And then last one, healing era or villain era? I thought that was a fun one.
Healing. I don't think I'm built for the other one.
I'd like to be in a healing era. Sometimes I do think I'm in a bit of a villain era, though.
I was going to say the opposite. I'd like to think I have villain era-esque energy, but I think I'm usually always in a healing era. I think I want to be in the villain era so bad, but it's very much giving like Janine from Abbott. Like,
but you're like a responsible villain, so it's not even really villainy.
Yeah, that's responsible villain. So is it really a villain era? That's exactly it. I'm probably gonna say that for now. Yeah, that's so true. That's funny. Well, thank y'all for hopping in for this one. I think this was like just a good start and catch up to see where we were. If anybody is relating to any of the things we mentioned, please comment and drop your thoughts on those things. I know 2026, we're almost halfway through, and it's been very interesting. So that's why I thought this would be a good kind of update. Of course, we didn't go into every single detail. Once again, we all chose private life for a reason, but we did give a kind of gist of where we are, and I think that's important just to see. We're not alone in all of this. We definitely all feel very similarly about certain things. So I think that's where we're at for sure. But yes, make sure you head on to the description to catch up on all things with Sabrina and Nicole for their social media handles and things. And then make sure you come back to this episode, catch up on the other episodes. Make sure you come back for future episodes, etc., etc. Stay nice and safe, stay fresh air. Hopefully weather changes are coming through. It's still a bit cold out here, so that's why I'm like, ooh, but I think we're getting there. You said it's hot.
Hot.
I don't. Yeah, never mind.
Today.
I don't wish that upon for you.
It's not.
Because you're about to be in hundreds for a good
I've
chunk.
been in hundreds.
I know, but I'm like, you're gonna be there for like a long
Forever.
time.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't wish that. I don't know how you do it. I've said this before, but I literally don't know how you do it.
I don't know either.
But make sure you get some sunshine, get some air, have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you next week on the Introvert Social Hour. Bye.